Classical Indian romantic poetry is often read as an outpouring of spontaneous, unbridled feeling. But underneath the classical verse lies a strict, calculated architecture. Human emotion was codified using rigid formulas. This system translates internal emotional states, mansic, into observable physiological behaviors, called kayak, through an output channel called anubhava. Scaling up, one internal state routes into dozens of physical outputs, creating a matrix communicating psychological nuance through observable data. This structural architecture defines rasa theory. It is an engine designed to generate specific, predictable emotional responses in an audience by providing them with highly calibrated physiological cues. The taxonomy originated in foundational Sanskrit dramaturgical texts like the Sahitya Darpana. Centuries later, medieval Hindi poets like Bhanu and Padmakar utilized this exact same rulebook to structure their work. Poets used the Radha-Krishna narrative as a technical case study, testing these theories against the most recognizable figures in Indian literature. While generic romantic storytelling relies on telling the audience how characters feel, writing within this tradition required a rigorous approach where internal states are proven strictly through physical evidence. Understanding these texts requires deconstructing them like an engineer, isolating exactly how writers programmed specific psychological paradoxes into their verse. This four-quadrant matrix maps the different expressions. We begin with conscious subversions, where a subject actively alters their external presentation to reflect an internal obsession. The first category is Leela, which describes a profound psychological immersion into the persona of a lover. Leela manifests physically when a person adopts the dress, the mannerisms, and the specific speech patterns of their beloved until their own identity is temporarily overwritten. The poet Bhanu documents this in a couplet, Radha Mai by Sham Ki Sorati, Sham Mai by Radhika Dole. The mirrored structure marks the exact point of absorption, where Radha is consumed by Krishna's physical form. The text also categorizes a complementary strategy known as vichitti. Vichitti is a deliberate aesthetic choice relying on visual minimalism. It dictates that sparse adornment is deployed to yield the maximum visual impact. Leela and Vichitti demonstrate that classical poets prioritized active absence and deliberate mimicry over elaborate passive descriptions. The second quadrant maps paradoxical states, where multiple conflicting emotions are expressed at once. The first concept is vivak, occurring when extreme personal pride or ego temporarily overrides a subject's genuine affection. While the internal state is love, the external manifestation is a calculated insult and open disregard toward the beloved. Radha executes this insult in the text, questioning why Krishna is staring at her. Me beti risha panuki, tu ahir kopot. She asserts her lineage as the daughter of royalty while dismissing him as a cowherd's son. By utilizing class and lineage as a weapon, the poet creates a specific tension born of excess pride. This leads to Kila-Kinchit, the most complex psychological superposition defined in the taxonomy. Kila-Kinchit requires the simultaneous physical expression of joy, dry weeping, fear, and anger. The sudden, overwhelming proximity of the beloved triggers this state, causing a conflict in the subject's standard emotional processing. The mapping of Kila-Kinchit demonstrates a precise documentation of emotional interference, where contradictory physical signals overwrite one another. This concept links to Kutamit, another specific paradoxical response. Kutamit involves feigned distress, such as trembling or shaking the head in apparent fear during moments of joyous physical intimacy. The text is explicit that this resistance is a simulated overlay placed atop intense pleasure, requiring technical control from the performer. Classical aesthetics mapped cognitive dissonance and emotional superposition with high precision long before these states were categorized by modern psychology. The third quadrant catalogs involuntary reflexes, reactions driven purely by emotional stimuli. Matayet is an involuntary physical cascade triggered specifically by auditory input. The text outlines a strict sequence. Simply hearing the lover's name spoken aloud triggers a reflexive desire to scratch the ear. This reflex is followed by involuntary yawning, which then triggers the physical stretching of the limbs. Matayet is sequential, but the text contrasts it with fibram, representing a disruption of spatial awareness. In a state of overwhelming joy or haste, a subject may physically misplace items, wearing jewelry and garments on the wrong body parts. This tracks a temporary breakdown in executive cognitive function caused by emotional overload. Defining these specific tics transformed Romantic poetry into a rigorous catalog of physiological reactions, treating the body as a predictable system of inputs and outputs. The final quadrant deals with wordless communication, meant to bypass verbal detection. This is Bodhak. Bodhak is an action-based signaling mechanism used to transmit hidden intentions. We see this in Padmakar's verse regarding a seemingly simple exchange of garlands between Radha and Krishna. On the left, we map the initial move. Krishna silently displays a garland of dark tamal flowers to Radha. Radha executes the countermove, pulling back her garment to reveal a necklace of bright white pearls. Classical scholars interpret this exchange as a prearranged, color-coded logistical signal. The juxtaposition of dark flowers and light pearls establishes a clandestine meeting time and location through visual contrast. Bodhak treats physical props as data carriers, elevating Romantic poetry into the realm of tactical communication. This taxonomy draws from a deep historical well. Sanskrit texts like the Amarikosha contained an even broader inventory of these distinct behavioral modifiers. They tracked concepts like muktya, the act of deliberately feigning ignorance to project youthfulness, and mad, a state of physical intoxication born strictly of extreme pride in one's own fortune or beauty. The function of these texts is to condense the subjective realm of human feeling into an objective, replicable toolkit for performers and writers. Every darting gaze or misplaced necklace in this poetry was a calculated variable in the strict equation of rasa. This classical framework provides a granular inventory of human expression, suggesting that in Indian aesthetics, romance is a technical discipline governed by observable rules.